A 40,000 rental income is far much better than 100,000 salary. Let me say once again, a 40,000 Kenyan shilling every month from a rental income that you have invested is far much better compared to 100,000 salary that you get from the job that you are employed. This I know gonna do what we call, gonna sound controversial, but I'm gonna explain my point as to why. First of all, these are two different incomes which bears two different names. One, which is 40,000 Kenyan shilling that you're getting from your rental income, that is what we call a passive income. You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. If you sleep, if you wake up, if you go for a party, if you do, the money is coming in. You're not involved. I mean, if I build some rentals here and I rent them out, the only thing I need to do is to check my bank account whether my tenants have actually deposited money in their place. And perhaps if then I was to do a lot of work is go and collect the what do we call them? Collect some receipts and what. Like, there are less moving parts. But how about to earn that 100,000 Kenyan shilling from your salary? You have to wake up early in the morning. Probably you don't even want to do that. You feel, how many of you, by the way, fortunately or unfortunately, I'm making this video on a Sunday. Tomorrow morning is on a Monday. Monday is the most hated day. Friday is the most loved day. I mean, see, the reason why people love Friday is by knowing, not the Friday itself, is by virtue of them going home, knowing that tomorrow on Saturday I won't go to job. That's what makes them happy. And then Monday is the most hated day. Now, here, this is the point. The 40,000 from the rental income is a passive income. And then 100,000 from the salary is an active income. The active income, it means you are involved. The passive income, it means that you're not involved. That is an investment. And let me tell you one secret. Now, the wealth journey, the route, the vehicle that you bought towards the destination, which is the wealth journey, it is not achieved by the active income. It is achieved by the passive income. That's why the wealthy people, listen, by the way, I'm making this video in November. In a month's time or less, we're going to be on Christmas and what have you, for those who celebrate Christmas. For me, I do not. Now, the point here is you'll find a lot of people, oh my goodness, you guys take this message that I'm about to say with an open mind, okay? Because some people might take it as if it's an offense. On this Christmas, this is when the employees, those people who are employed, they will be allowed to go and enjoy themselves. The employers won't be with you. The employers will come to where those places you are on January. Let me explain. This holiday, this is when now the bosses make money. Why? People are consumers on this holiday. Why? Because people want to buy something, they want to book some things, they are booking. There are some people, as we speak right now, they are booking some hotels and Airbnbs and what have you. They pay for the next 2 months, the entire of November and the entire of December. By the way, I don't know, for those who come from Kenya, did you hear that the SGR, that is a standard gauge railway that takes people from Nairobi to Mombasa, has been booked already all the way up to February, and we are on November 2025. Do you know what they do? They go, they book those trains, or they go, what do we call? For example, right now, you find like an Airbnb costs like, say, 2,500. You find somebody paying the entire 2 months, and then they have those Airbnbs. And guess what happens? No, those are opportunistics. What they do, because they know there'll be a surge of demand of those places where people can reside, they already have those people. So now those are the people who are investors. But now those who will be there on December, Christmas and what have you, those are the people who are now the employees. The employers, once you are finished up, the prices has been hiked. You find an Airbnb that goes for, say, 2,500, it's now at 7,500 or something like that. They no longer do what? They no longer, they don't see any essence of paying that. So they will come back during the normal time and they will actually get a discount on top of that. Now, what am I saying? A 40,000 rental income is far much better compared to 100,000. That's the point. I don't want to digress a lot. What does that mean? It simply means that that money that you're getting from the passive income, it is the one that you're on the right track towards the financial destination. And let me tell you one thing. You might be earning a salary of, say, 500,000, a million, 10 million, or whichever in a month, because there are people who are making those crazy amount of money. For me, I always love to ask people this simple question. Sure, you are making a salary, you are getting a salary of 500,000 in a month. That is a salary. On the sideline, How much do you make when you are not doing your job? How much do you make on the sideline? How much? Like, sure, here you're making 500,000 by trading three things: your time, your skill, and your what? They say your time, your skill, and your energy. Without you trading these three things, how much do you make on your sideline? And when you hear somebody telling me, hey, Joseph, I make 500,000 in a month, and on this side, I'm making 50,000. Congratulations. You know why? This 50,000, it is your darling. It will be there through thick and thin. What does it mean? Today, this 100,000, for our own sake of our own video, this 100,000 can disappear from any moment. What does it mean? You can wake up and then you are on retrenchment. Oh, I don't know, whatever. Oh, we no longer realize that we cannot afford you. You know, they usually give you a very decent explanation as to why they are firing you. In other words, they are telling you we no longer need your services in our company. Then you just go home. All of a sudden, from 100,000 to zero. Did you just see that surge from 100,000 to zero? But then if you're earning this 40,000 from your rental income, and I'm using rental income figuratively, I didn't say that the rental income should be the ultimate goal of you achieving. No, you can equate rental income to a money market fund. You can equate a rental income to, say, as shares or whatever the thing it is, provided it's an investment. So you have to compare and contrast those two things, what I'm talking about. So now, these 100,000 can just come from 100 to zero. That would be a crisis. And then the 40,000, it is still there. This is your investment. It is you who is controlling when it is coming to you. It is even you who control why I should be receiving 40K and not 30K and something like that. So what I'm trying to tell people is this, please. I'm not telling people that they should not enjoy their salary. You should, but always sit as if you're sitting on a timing bomb. Just know this thing can explode any moment. You know, this bomb that you're sitting, it can explode. A company can just wake up and realize, hey, you know what? Listen, let me tell you one secret. The moment you are employed, it is not under the obligation of your employer to really care about how you eat and how you become. First of all, nobody employs you to be wealthy. No employer employs you to empower you to be like them. No, because they know the moment you become empowered, you cannot be controlled. So therefore, you should understand one thing. If today, let's say you're employed somewhere where your boss deals with selling coffee and what have you, and then all of a sudden, your boss is approached by a competitor, bigger company, and the boss is told, hey, guess what? Can you sell us this company for this amount of money? Then the boss compares the much I've invested and, of course, the much I'm being offered to. And then you realize, you know what? Your boss sells you the business. They don't even care. They don't even say, like, I have employees or whatever. But they just say the business. They were there to make money. I mean, you are in their life to help them make money. On a very serious note, let me tell you one secret. They will pretend they love you. They will pretend you're an asset to that business. But the reality is, on the order of priorities of the money, you fall nowhere. That's why you may sit down and you're trying to do the calculation of how much they make. Let's say you are a teacher and you are employed somewhere. Then you're starting counting the number of students in that classroom and the much they pay in terms of school fees. Let's say if you're teaching in a private school. And then you realize that in that single class that you're teaching, that boss is generating almost $1 million in that class. And then they are paying you a very funny figure I don't want to mention. And then you're like, oh, he's making $1 million. And why can't he just give me like 100,000? No, he's not there, or they are not there to make you wealthy. That is not their business. And if tomorrow morning they are approached by a different company and the company say they want to buy that school, then tomorrow morning you're not a teacher. You're done. You're gone. You're gone. And this is why we tell people, please, the moment you are on a salary, please, never, ever think that. I'll give you a very simple example. I used to be a painter back then. And we could go to a place you find like maybe it's a flat, like say a several story building. And then you're like, oh my goodness, see I'm being paid 1,000 in a day. And guess what? This building, the way it looks like, this job can run actually for the next 5 months, just painting. You'd be like, you know what? Oh, this is how some of the people whom we used to work with be like, oh, this is a very big building. You know what? We will be paying 1,000 shilling for, I mean, you see, if you are an expert in that area, you can just approximate. This building, it will take a whole 5 months to paint, for example. Therefore, if I will still be in this particular building for the next 5 months, I'm getting 1,000 every day, 1,000 every day, except on Sundays. You get what I'm saying? So all of a sudden, you can even be tempted to borrow. Let me tell you one secret. You can even work today. Tomorrow morning, you'll be told, no, we no longer need your services. You're done. A building that you had seen that will run actually for a whole 5 months, you've actually gone there and you get only for 1,000, or even do for 1 week. And then after that, you're told you're fired. Then I used to tell my guys, listen, the moment you see this big building, please don't be fooled that you're going to be in this particular building for the rest of its time. No. This building might be painted by, let's say, 1,000 people. We paint for 2 days, we are fired, another people come in. So the same case when it comes to a salary. Don't think like, oh, this is a stable company. See, those are the... Anyway, some of you may not even understand what I'm talking about. And some of you learn these things when it is too late. I had a client, a very young lady at 28 years old. She was earning 300,000 in a month, employed by the NGO. I'll be specific. I'm sorry to say, but obviously I don't say the names of the people. USAID. This USAID thing, you know what Trump did when he came to the presidency? The USAID thing is not there. It's done. And you know, it's the US that was funding that thing. She didn't have a job. It's gone. She was earning 300,000. You know where she was living? Kilimani. For those who are in Kenya, Kilimani, Kileleshwa, Lavington, those places. A rent, 2-bedroom goes for like 100,000. That's like $1,000. Okay, fine. If you come from America, it may not sound big, but here in Kenya, it's a big thing. So 100 G's, clean, was going for her rent. She didn't even have a family. She didn't have a kid. She didn't have anything. Is a lady born somewhere in up country, and then she came to town. She got lucky, and she had money traumas and bitterness with life. You know, when she was brought up, she didn't even enjoy life, and now that was the time to enjoy it. And to her, 300,000 sounded like an enormous thing. You know, she was like, oh my goodness, I'm earning a lot of money. And now she was living that kind of a lifestyle. That was only rent, 100,000 gone. Actually, this lady was making around 360,000 from 500. You know, when you do the deductions and what have you. Now, 100,000 is gone. You can just imagine somebody who is living a house that is worth 100,000 in a month. You can just approximate her lifestyle, where she was eating, whom she was hanging around, you know, and having fun and what have you, road trips here and there. She had a car, obviously. Don't ask that question. A very heavy car. And the car, the funny thing is, it was on debt, but lucky she was almost clearing the debt. Now she was on crisis. She was asking me, hey, Joseph, the only money I have, it's 1.2 million. What do I do with it? I asked her, how long have you been employed? I was lucky I was employed when I was 24. Okay, 24, it was an internship. I was earning around 90,000. But full employment, I was employed from 20 to 25. Now I'm 28 clearing. That's 3 years clean. She only had a 1.2 million. She was on a crisis. What does she do? What business can she start? I mean, please be very, very careful when it comes to a salary. Be very, very careful. Things can go south within a snap of a finger. You are gone. Yes. That's what I always tell people. Please, I'm not saying now you quit or do. No, don't panic. Plan yourself. Plan yourself. I always tell people, if you behave as if this is the last salary, how would you spend it? Then spend it that way. If you earn 50,000, 10, 20, 15, 100, whatever, spend it as if, ask yourself, what if this was the last salary? How would I spend it? You know, people tend, the moment they find themselves to the corner, they tend to be very smart. Now be smart every month. Ask yourself, what if this was the last salary that I will get this month? What will I do? Then do that. Then you get the next one. Please compartmentalize this month. Don't take it like a whole year. Oh, you know what? This year, once I need to earn 100,000. So if I get, no, plan in terms of a month. Please narrow down to that dream to a monthly basis. Then start investing there. Hiya. That is it, guys. In case you need my services, see you in the next one.